This tutorial is to help you with approximating irrational numbers. So approximating means finding about where these numbers would lie on a number line. So obviously we could use a calculator and we could take the square root of 20, but how would we do it without a calculator? Okay, so you want to find the perfect squares that are closest to 20. Okay, so if you don't have your first 15 perfect squares, not necessarily memorized, but if you're not familiar with them, you need to get familiar with them. So the square root of 20 is going to fall between the square root of 16, which is 4, and the square root of 25, which is 5. So I know that the square root of 20 is going to be somewhere on this number line between 4 and 5. Okay, but you know what? I can actually get a little bit closer than that. So let's see if we could find a number between 4 and 5 that would get us close to 20. So let me try 4.5. If I square 4.5, let me see what that would equal. So 4.5 times 4.5. And then there are two numbers behind the decimal, so I'm going to put two numbers behind my decimal and my answer. Okay, so 20.25. Well, that's actually pretty close to 20. Let me see if I go down one. So what if I do 4.4 squared? So 4.4 times 4.4. Two numbers behind the decimal, so two numbers behind the decimal. That's 19.36. Well, 4.5 is actually closer, but typically in math you want to be as close as you can without going over. So I'm going to choose 4.4. So let me see where that would be. Right way halfway between the 4 and the 5, let's call that 4.5. So 4.4 would be right next to it. Okay, so let's do another one. Come down here. Let's find the square root of 40. Okay, so the square root of 40, I know it's going to be between the square root of 36 and the square root of 49. The square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7. So I know that the square root of 40 is going to be between 6 and 7. But let's see if I can get closer. Let's go right in half, 6.5 squared. So 6.5 times 6.5. Two numbers behind the decimal, so two numbers behind the decimal. I got 42.25. Well, that's too high. So it's gonna be lower than 6.5. Let's try 6.3. $39.69. That is pretty close. So 6.3. Okay. So if it asks you something like find 15 minus the square root of 5, well, the first thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to find the square root of 5, or approximately where that is. And then you're going to do 15 minus that to find out where it would be on the number line.